Zeta Beta Tau is a Greek letter social fraternity. ZBT was founded on December 29, 1898, as the first Jewish Zionist fraternity. Due to policy changes, Zeta Beta Tau has moved away from its exclusively Jewish membership and Zionist mission of its founding. In 1954, Zeta Beta Tau became non-sectarian and opened their doors to non-Jewish members, changing their membership policy to include all men of good character. ZBT values the diversity of its membership. 4 other fraternities have merged with Zeta Beta Tau in the past: Phi Alpha, Kappa Nu, Phi Sigma Delta, and Phi Epsilon Pi. History. Founding Zeta Beta Tau was founded in 1898 as the nation's first Jewish fraternity, although it is no longer sectarian. The Zeta Beta Tau fraternity was spearheaded until his death by Dr. Richard J. H. Gottiel, a professor of languages at Columbia University and a Zionist. On December 29, 1898, he formed his Zionist Youth Society with a group of students from several New York City universities. 15 young men, among them Herman Abramowitz, Aaron Levy, Bernhard Bloch, David Lenates, Isidore Delson, Louis S. Posner, Aaron Drucker, Bernhard Sachs, Bernard Ehrenreich, Hermann Sheffield, Menahem Eichler, David Zwick, Aaron Eisman, Maurice Lemaitre, and David Levine, gathered at the Jewish Theological Seminary on this date to found the organization. The society was called ZBT, which referred to the first letters in the Hebrew phrase, Zion be mishpat tipidi, which translated means, Zion shall be redeemed with judgment. Template. The Jewish Origins of Cultural Pluralism by Daniel Green. This is taken from Isaiah chapter 1 verse 27, Zion be mishpat tipidi v'yeshev ha b'tzedakah, Zion shall be redeemed with judgment, and they that return of her, with righteousness. The word judgment is sometimes translated as justice. The meaning of ZBT was listed in the American Jewish Committee's annual report as early as 1900-1901. In 1903, ZBT formally became Zeta Beta Tau, and its purpose shifted away from that of a Zionist youth organization as other Zionist organizations grew in prominence. The original Hebrew meaning of ZBT is not esoteric. However, it was publicly revealed in the official written history of Zeta Beta Tau. Here's to our fraternity. 100 Years of Zeta Beta Tau, 1898–1998, by Marianne Rachel Sanua. Zeta Beta Tau expanded rapidly. By 1909, it had established 13 chapters in the Northeast and a 14th at Tulane University in New Orleans. In 1913, it established its first Canadian chapter at McGill University in Montreal, and in the same year of November 29, Zeta Beta Tau was first represented at the National Interfraternity Conference. 5 years later, it founded its first West Coast chapter at the University of Southern California in Los Angeles. At the 1954 National Convention, the delegates amended Zeta Beta Tau's constitution, ritual and internal procedures both in theory and in practice to eliminate sectarianism as a qualification for membership. Merges. The Zeta Beta Tau has merged with 4 other national Jewish fraternities. In 1959, Phi Alpha merged into Phi Sigma Delta. In 1961, Kappa Nu merged into Phi Epsilon Pi. In 1969–70, Phi Sigma Delta and Phi Epsilon Pi merged into Zeta Beta Tau. Today, the merged Zeta Beta Tau fraternity lists 140,000 members, with chapters and colonies at over 90 campus locations. Pledging. Abolished. Zeta Beta Tau abolished the institution of pledging in 1989 as a way to combat and eliminate hazing, and replaced the pledging process with one in which new members are accepted as brothers upon receiving a bit of the fraternity. Zeta Beta Tau's decision to get rid of pledging did not involve an associate membership process, however. Once a brother joins the fraternity, he will receive all rights and responsibilities as the rest of the chapter, and shall be eligible for any position within the chapter regardless of how long he has been a brother. This decision was made in response to the Age of Liability, in which extensive research on hazing shed light on how the culture of subservient pledging led to a number of deaths nationwide. Sigma Phi Epsilon would soon follow with a somewhat similar plan in 1991. Semiannual Brotherhood Review vote. In conjunction with the 1989 abolition of pledging, Zeta Beta Tau National instituted the SBRV. All Zeta Beta Tau chapters twice a year have a vote to see who, if anyone, should be removed from membership within a chapter. The ballots are counted by the president and an executive member of his choice. The criteria for voting during the SBRV are the chapter standards, which all chapters must make known to their membership. If a brother receives a simple majority of nay votes, he is expelled from the fraternity. The Journey Brotherhood Program. 20 years after Zeta Beta Tau eliminated pledging, the Supreme Council, based on feedback from undergraduates and alumni, voted to continue the evolution and development of what was initially called the Membership Development Program, then became the Brotherhood Program. The newest evolution is called the Journey. The Journey implements a number of significant changes. The Journey adds the position of Provost, in addition to the Brotherhood Development Director. In the past, the BDD was responsible for all education in the chapter. Now, the Provost teaches members about the history, values, and traditions of organization. The BDD oversees the Provost, and still is responsible for overall program. Through the first 6 weeks of the Journey, newly initiated Zeta Beta Tau men learn the history of the fraternity, delve into the credo, mission statement, and ritual, the skills needed to succeed in college, and how to make wise life decisions. Upon initiation, all Zeta Beta Tau brothers are given full rights and privileges, within days of accepting their bids. This is true for all versions of the Journey. The Journey then continues to develop brothers for the next 4 years, offering education on building a better brotherhood and strong leadership skills. The Journey also offers a leadership track. Notable alumni. Chapters. Zeta Beta Tau currently recognizes 90 chapters and colonies in the United States. The state with the most chapters is New York. Currently, the oldest active chapter is Gamma at New York University. As of 2014, the largest Zeta Beta Tau chapter is Lambda at the University of Texas at Austin. Controversy. While in Panama City Beach, Florida on April 17, 2015 for a spring formal, members of the fraternity's University of Florida chapter were accused of abusing disabled military veterans. The Warrior Beach Retreat provides wounded veterans a place to relax and heal. The event was disrupted by a band of fraternity brothers who allegedly disrespected and dishonored the veterans. According to Warrior Beach Retreat's founder, Linda Cope, the students were antagonizing veterans. She stated that some of the men made inappropriate comments to the spouses of veterans. One veteran said that he and his service dog were spat on, and that beer was poured on them from the 20th floor. As of the 24th of April, the University of Florida placed the ZBT chapter on interim suspension and charged the organization with a series of offenses as part of its formal investigation into allegations of disturbing illegal behavior toward veterans while at an event in Panama City Beach last weekend. Lawrence Bolletine, executive director of Zeta Beta Tau International, issued a statement on the organization's website that noted in part, while the details of their actions are still under investigation, there is no doubt that some of our members engaged in ugly and unacceptable behavior. Their actions have no place in Zeta Beta Tau or anywhere, and they will not be tolerated. On behalf of our entire organization, I want to apologize to veterans, both those who were in Panama City Beach, and those who have felt the pain from afar, as well as to their families. The president of the University of Florida, Kent Fuchs, called the actions of the fraternity members unacceptable and committed to a full investigation. Ultimately, no criminal charges were filed, and a University of Florida investigation revealed no targeting of veterans occurred, and that the immediate suspension of the chapter was primarily for safety reasons due to the high number of threats made to the chapter and its members after news of the incident surfaced.